Welcome to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, podcast for innovators and problem solvers talking all things small business, entrepreneurship, and workforce development.
Hey guys, it's Kavo.
And Mars.
And last episode, you learned a little more about us and what made us start our podcast journey with The Vault at 201 North Broadway. We're excited to continue that journey with an amazing guest for our episode 3 with Maddie Nichole Photo.
Thank you to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The Small Business Development Center provides you with free one-on-one counseling, business plan assistance, marketing research, financial projection assistance, and more to small businesses.
Maddie, tell us, what brought you here today? Other than us, we're a fun group.
That was going to be my answer, you guys, of course.
Us.
Marcel and Kayla want to do anything, I'm in.
I love it.
Game over, let's go.
Should we do a little intro of her really quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Maddie Nichole Photo is a creative and adventurous photographer. She is a Montana native. She has a degree in marketing and business. She travels all over, though. She's based in Montana, but she travels all over capturing and just doing amazing things in the world of photography. She's your personal brand guru. So if you're looking for personal branding, Maddie's your go-to. And we're really excited to have you here with us today. So like Kayla said, tell us about you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks, guys. So about me. I'm a photographer, obviously. I specialize in personal branding, and I also do high school seniors. It's a lot of fun. I really just like capturing everything that somebody is, right? That sounds so silly to say out loud, but like really just like the whole essence of who they are and what they do. And I just love to see people's like eyes really light up when they talk about what they're passionate about or when they're doing what they're passionate about. So I think that it's really cool to be able to do that in the personal branding side of things, because you really see the passions people have for the businesses they have and the different creative ways they go to express that. And I think it's fun. And it ties in my like marketing degree a little bit. Not that I use that a ton, but also helping people market their businesses is always like super, super cool.
Maddie was super awesome, and we had an expert week about 2 weeks ago, and she was one of our marketing experts. And so she donated 4 hours of her time to do 30-minute one-on-one sessions with our clients. And so she did 8 sessions of those, and she just did it for free because she's an amazing person. And we had a lot of other great experts that volunteered their time. But we love having you around and the content that you help us bring to the table.
I love being around.
We love having you around. And you're like a successful, like we were just talking, so successful. But tell us a little bit about what that journey was like to get to where you are today, like growing up, things that inspired you to be the personal branding, like adventurous photographer that you are today.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. If you would have told me even 4 years ago that this is what I would have been doing for work, I would have looked at you and been like, you're crazy. I'm going to school to be a teacher. Like, I want to be a teacher. I want to help people. I want to my biggest thing with wanting to be a teacher. When I was younger, I had like a whiteboard in my bedroom, and I would invite, my little sister and her friends or like my cousins would come, and I would like make them homework assignments. Like I was going to be a teacher. I think I had so many teachers who made such a big impact in my life that I wanted to be that for someone else. And then so I was going to school for that. I changed my degree like 10 times within the first 2 years. So I was kind of all over the place.
It's normal.
Yeah, no, totally.
I think it's so hard to ask a child to know what they want to be when they grow up, when they haven't even experienced life yet.
No idea.
You're like a prime example. It's like you started to get some more life in you, and you're like, that's not what I want.
That's not what I want.
That's not what I want.
Yep.
This is not for me.
Yeah. And I actually remember in 2019, I was still going to school for education, and I did a trip to Bali that was like this business retreat, like refresh retreat type of thing. And at the time I was like, I want to have a blog. Like, I just want to like share my life and like whatever. I had just been gifted my first camera from my amazing friend, April. And, so I like started taking some pictures and everything, but I was like, I want to be a blogger and I want to take pictures for my own blog, right?
The blog. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, and it was cool. Yeah, exactly. I was just like sharing my life and sharing my experiences. And I feel like that's something I've always wanted to do, is just like share those experiences. But growing up, I never really thought of myself as a creative. Like I remember being in art class and like having my friends draw the pictures for me, or like I was never like painting. It just wasn't my thing, right?
I
Like,
can draw a stick person.
exactly.
You know?
And I couldn't even hardly do that,
Triangle
right?
dresses.
Yeah, no, for real. So I never really considered myself an artist. And when I got my first camera, my friend April, I took a photo of her in Bali, and I remember her like hyping me up and being like, oh, Maddie's onto her. She made a post and was like, Maddie's onto her new adventure. And I did not think anything of it at all. I was taking pictures at the time of like families I nannied for, or like my roommates at the time, like just friends, whatever. We have all these photos from like my apartment in Bozeman when I was going to school there, just like all of us being silly, or like, you know, feeling like we're little models,
Like
taking
capturing
pictures
the fun
of each other.
moments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So it wasn't really until like the summer of 2019 where I was like, oh, I could kind of do this as a business. But like at the time, like earlier on in 2019, I was still going to go to school to be a teacher. And I was like, I'll just like start my own business. And then I can like, if I need my backup plan, I can be a teacher, and I'll like get my license to be a teacher and keep up with that and whatever. So if this doesn't work out, I'll have that as a plan, right?
It's always good to have a backup plan, right?
plan
Yeah.
Contingency.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Very quickly that changed. And I decided right after my spring semester of 2019, I was like, well, I think I'm going to change to business. So I went and like met with the business people in Bozeman, because I was still in school there, and changed my degree and took summer classes that summer to try like to start it, because there were so many classes you had to have, whatever. And 2019 was kind of crazy. So I had a friend named Shay with Montana Diaries who ended up hiring me to second shoot an elopement with her. And I was like, I mean, I just have this like old camera, and she like let me use her equipment, hired me, trusted me. And that summer I ended up second shooting a couple weddings with her. And so I was like, oh, someone actually like trusts me to do this. This is really cool. And I remember going to like a speaking event my other friend was like doing and putting on. And I sat at this table with like all these like successful women, and I was like, I cried, and I was like, I just want to be a photographer. Like, I just want to like take pictures of people. And I knew from the beginning too, like I enjoyed taking pictures of families, but I wanted it to be like that one-on-one connection with people, or like the small, like with you guys, you know, when we did the photos for the podcast and everything. Like I want it to be like that connection with my clients. I don't know. There's just something about it that it's like, even when you're doing one-on-one photos, but still in a big group, it's still a different vibe. Like I love the one-on-one experience with people. So I loved that. And then I ended up doing some photos for a salon, and I like didn't know what to charge. I like did trade, you know, like I was like this, I'm still going to school for a business. And then I decided to move back to Billings.
Okay.
And got a job here, transferred to MSUB. I could finish the degree online, whatever.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Right?
2019 was crazy. Before Billings, I was going to move to California. When that didn't work out, I was like, okay, I'll go back to Billings, finish my degree online. I'll travel, build my business. I wasn't really super focused on my business. Like I was doing it a little, but it wasn't anything like crazy. I was still working and going to school full time. It was like the end of 2019. I was like, okay, I could actually do this. And like people actually make money doing this. And some mentors in my life at the time were making money doing photography. And I was like, okay, I can do this, whatever. So I invested in some education on it, hired a coach and everything. And I was like, oh, I was charging like $50 a shoot, you know, like.
Yeah, but you were young, like
Nothing.
doing all this, like you're going on this fun, like business learning trip in
Yeah.
Bali. Like you have these like mentor people in your life, and then you're like doing your coaching, and you're not even 25 and
Yeah.
doing all these things.
I
you
was
know?
21 in 2019 when I was like doing all that.
Yeah.
And I was like not asking. It was like some of the first things I wasn't asking for permission to do. And that was like from the very beginning, I like invested in myself and in like my personal development, I guess, and like in turn business also. Like going to Bali, and then end of 2019, I went to a networking event in San Diego. And then right after that is when I hired like a coach and was in a mastermind for photography. Like I kind of just like really quickly right off the bat, like jumped all in and was like, okay, I'm going to do these things, and I don't know where it's going to take me, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to try it, and I'm going to learn, and I'm going to take something away from everything. Right. So yeah. And then like COVID hit. So things weren't like super
weird. for
Yeah, it was
everyone.
really weird, obviously,
Yeah.
for everyone. And then I worked as like an assistant to a photographer for a while, and then eventually started like doing more and more of my own, doing headshots and high school seniors, and some like, I wanted to do like personal branding, but I didn't know how to go about it because I wanted everything to feel very creative. Like the camera was the first time where I actually was like, oh, like I am kind of an artist. I can do cool things. So yeah, started assisting and then doing my own stuff a little bit. And then, Yeah, I mean, here I am. It's
Here you are.
kind of a crazy, it was kind of a crazy journey that I feel like is different. I had a lot of like really cool, I think I networked a lot, and I had a lot of really cool like connections and made a lot of really cool friends like you guys, and you've been like such big supporters from the very beginning. Like you met me in that stage where I was like not really, but kind of dipping my toes in it, you know?
Right,
So,
and then you jumped all in, which is so, and like having
Yeah.
those people along the way, like April that you mentioned, like giving you a camera that kind of started that journey for you of like, I am creative. It's just not through like a drawing lens.
right. It's not a way that I was like being taught in school.
Right.
You know, and like I could have taken it, but like there wasn't classes in the school and I couldn't go out to the careers. Like it wasn't working in my schedule to do anything like that. I also didn't know. Like,
Yeah. How, like Kayla mentioned earlier.
exactly. I
you
always
don't
say
know.
like we are 18 years old and we're going to college to do this thing that we're supposed to do for the rest of our lives. And we have no idea.
No one knows.
And we're still like, there's so many jobs out there that we have no clue exist at all. And I get so passionate when I talk about it because with my high school seniors too, they'll be like, I don't know what I want to do. And I'm like, you're not going to know what you want to do. You will have no idea. And I think that's also the mindset I've had with photography too. Like I absolutely love it right now, but if 10 years down the road, it's not like what lights me up and it's not something I want to do, I'm not going to force myself to stay in it. You know, like I think you have to be open and willing to like shift and
move around. But it's fun you get to share that too, like, and be a mentor to those seniors in high school that you're, I mean, not that much older than, but not, you know, like you've had the college
like really
experience,
weird.
you know, a small business and you're, you know, that's thriving, but being able to like share that knowledge is really cool.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a long-winded,
No, I love it.
journey of my business. Lots of education, lots of just trying stuff and meeting people and
Finding a passion.
exactly.
Sometimes it can take a little bit
Oh yeah.
to find what you're interested in.
And I also don't want people to hear that and be like, oh my gosh, I want to start a business. I have to go invest thousands and thousands of dollars in like coaching and education, because there's also like so much free content out there that you can use and utilize when you're starting, you know?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't always have to be something where you're like, okay, I need to put myself like $1 million in debt just to try this and to start this and
Figure
like
it
to learn
out.
these things. Because I think there are certain things that are like necessary and they can speed up the process for you. And I think that that's something I kind of did at the beginning, was like just hire a ton and like really invest in the education.
Which
So,
to learn like the nitty gritty of it a little bit.
like
But you
pretty
had
fast.
mentors, it sounds like quite a few that
A
like
lot of them. Yeah.
maybe taught you good things, bad things.
Exactly.
Not bad
Everything
things,
in
but like things you
between.
wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
like
you learn from other people and you learn from their journeys too. So like we were talking about this weekend when I was up in Whitefish. We were like, there's things that like one person does because they don't realize that's like the way to go about it. And then this other person sees like, oh, there's so many steps that I can do that are like so much faster in learning something, you know, like things that you can incorporate into your business right away that will make it a lot easier for you than like trial and error the whole time. Right. So,
Yeah. We always tell people ask for help. I mean, there's
Oh my
people
gosh, yeah.
who, even in the same industry, if you just tell them you're trying to start your own thing, they'll sit down with you, they'll have coffee with you, they'll
Exactly.
be open and available for questions. And
Yep.
I feel like some people are like, I shouldn't ask because I'm supposed to know these things. And it's not that.
It's not.
It's not
Not
that
at
at all.
all.
Like,
Yeah.
definitely ask the questions, ask for someone to mentor you or just to be a friend.
Yeah, and put
Um,
yourself out there. Like, go to events where you can meet people who could hire you to do something or try it. Like, I did a ton of free work in the beginning, too. Like, I still do sometimes, right? Like, just to make connections and, like, if it's something you really want to do, like, put yourself out there. But,
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah. So kind of on some of those topics that we just talked about, are there some things that really stick out to you that you learned and you're like, that was a good hard lesson for me? And then too, with that, like good or bad, like
Yeah.
that really set me up, like the camera thing, but like other things that really set you up to know like this is it. Like I feel good about it or wouldn't do that again.
Mhm. There's actually, you and I have talked about like an experience I've had recently. I think with the whole doing free work at the beginning, you're growing a portfolio in this specific, and in any creative industry, right? You're growing a portfolio. You want to get this content so you can share it and be like, oh, hey, like this is what I do. This is my work. One thing that I did was, instead of being like, hey, I'll do this for free right now because I've never done this before and I'm learning, and then this is what it'll cost in the future, or like I'll touch base with you for what it would cost in the future. I kind of did a lot of work for free, a lot.
Mhm.
And in doing so, I think that like you can love something so much, but if you're not being compensated for the work you're doing too, like you start to resent it a little bit. And
Yeah.
so one of the biggest things I learned that like if I could go back on this specific situation recently in my life, I would have been like, okay, hey, like I would love to do this for free for the first time. And then moving forward, like I will either my minimum cost is going to be this, but I also don't know what it's like. So that I could come back with something different. Like I'm going to feel it out and put a cost on it or something. So that was a big thing for me. What else? I feel like I've learned so much. And I'm
Yeah.
drawing a blank right
That
now.
one's probably good. And Kayla, you can probably speak to this too, of people starting a business or whatever. Like, you know, my brother has a small business too. And just like, it's not as easy. It's like great to come up with the service or the, you know, thing that you're providing, but then pricing it where you
Yeah.
don't want to seem like you're so like high tone that you can't reach like a majority of like maybe your real audience,
Yeah.
but then also setting a price point that is fair to you and the
Right.
work that you're and time you're putting into that
Yeah.
service or thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we have a lot of businesses that come to us and they always feel like they have to give away things like right away. Whether that's like half price service or this and that. And yeah, that'll drum up business, but maybe it's not the right business, right?
Right.
Like, is that the person that's going to be a repetitive customer for you? Probably not, because they're looking for just that deal
That
at that
discount.
moment. So we always tell people like, you have to really care about your time and charge for it, right?
Yeah.
And so then scenarios like that, I think that happens a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When people are creating their portfolios, they go, you know, I just need to get pictures in my portfolio, and so I'm not going to charge you for it. And then they will come back and they'll be like, "Wait, it was free last time." And you're like, well, now I'm
Yeah.
established.
Yep.
And that's a
and then
hard
when you keep doing it
conversation.
for free, it is hard. And I think that like pricing and money can be a really hard conversation for so many people. And sometimes it's hard to like I've sent pricing sheets out where I'm like shaking, being like, this is what I charge, you know, like,
Yeah.
because it is nerve
But you
wracking.
have to,
You
you
have
know?
to. You
Yeah.
have to put a value, and like people are going to put value on you, and you have to put a value on yourself. I think to touch on doing a bunch for free at the beginning, and building that portfolio and it not being the right client is like, it's okay to try those things out. But if like one time it doesn't light you up and it's not, you're like, I don't ever want to, photographer example, I don't ever want to shoot that again. Don't ever shoot that again, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't let that be the client that you're marketing to, right?
And
just
letting
like
it drain
be
you.
specific about if you're gonna run a deal or something, be very specific about what you're running. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Well, and one thing that I don't think people realize with photographers is you don't just go to one photographer for everything.
right.
They are industry specific, like a doctor, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to go to a heart doctor for, you know,
Your foot injury.
Yeah,
for-
exactly.
for foot
Hypothetical
injury.
foot injury.
You know, there's photographers that take pictures of strictly infants.
People specialize in
there's-
things for a reason.
Yeah,
They're like
because
the expert, and they put so much time and energy and like money into learning that craft and that art, you know, like
Yeah.
personal branding. When it comes to marketing with me, like, I don't want to just go and take pictures and be like, okay, good luck, I'm done, bye. Like, I want to sit with you and be like, okay, hey, here's an idea for this. Like, before a shoot, be like, okay, are there any specific shots you want for something specific you're marketing? Are you doing a freebie on your email? Are you, like, there's a million different things people could be working on that they're like, oh, I need specific things for this. So you have a plan for marketing those photos, right? So, yeah.
So on that
think that-
topic, I have another question, kind of, you know, with content and things like that. What are some things that really keep you inspired and excited about the work that you do? You know, like you talked about people lighting up, but you do a lot of creative shoots, even just with yourself and like to help with your personal branding too. And then with your
Yeah.
clients, like what are some things that inspire your content creation?
I think sometimes it takes like stepping away from like a normal session that I would shoot and doing something creative with friends. It's just that, like, I have some friends here in town and a photographer and a hair and makeup. We do fun shoots all the time. Like, anytime Melissa and I get our hair done, Kathy does our makeup too, and we do something crazy, right? So I think just like being able to step out of my comfort zone and like do something like that keeps me super inspired. But also like having conversations like this and talking to other like business professionals and like talking about other people's businesses and like what they're doing and what they're working on really lights me up. And I get so excited because I'm such an ideas person too. Like, more than just going and taking the photos. Like I want to help come up with the cool ideas and the unique ways to do things. So I think it's like also trying to find a way to make people stand out and look different is like really inspiring in business. And sometimes honestly shooting something that you wouldn't normally shoot can help you be more creative with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you're in like a different element. And then you're like, oh, maybe like
I
this
can
little
try
random
something.
thing inspired me to do.
Yeah. I think just surrounding myself with people who like get it and want to have those conversations keeps me super inspired.
That's fun.
I love that. Along those same lines, how do you navigate the world of what you'll say yes to versus what you'll say no to?
That's a really good question. I've gotten to the point where I know what I love to do. Like I love like the marketing and the high school seniors and everything. So I will take like a family session here and there for like a friend. Like I just did one a couple weeks ago. My friend had a baby. And so I went up and did photos of her and her family. But I don't know. It's kind of a feeling sometimes. Like there are certain people that you're like, I don't want to work with you. And I don't want to do that. And sometimes it's just a matter of being like, hey, I think that here's some really great recommendations for, and I don't want that to sound mean. There's just certain things I don't like to shoot and don't want to shoot. Right. And so that's when, I can
there's
just
like recommendations for people that do love shooting.
Exactly. Or could be a better match. Like I'm not going to be the perfect match for every single business owner and every single entrepreneur. And that's beautiful and that's okay.
I love that you said that because it's something that we try to tell people all the time. I mean, we really push people to understand their target market.
Yeah.
But also within that target market, there might be somebody that your products aren't going to be the best fit for them, and that's okay. But it's also okay to go, hey, I don't know if this relationship is going to work very well. Yeah. So here's some recommendations of somebody that could really be beneficial for you. But it's okay to say you're not right for me, as well as them to say you're not right for me too.
Exactly. So, I think that goes into like the conversation of like feeling like competition in your industry. Like there are so many people who do the same things, but there's also so many people who need that service. And when not everyone is your client, it's okay to be like, oh, hey, here's another photographer that does this. I think that she would maybe be someone you'd want to check out, or he is someone that you might need, So
I think it's I love that too.
Okay to understand that.
Because I think people there's such a negativity to the word competition versus going, hey, yes, you're a competitor, but I'm not going to not send people to you.
Right.
I think there's it's healthy to have the competition, but it's also really healthy to be friendly.
Exactly.
And have relationships with your competitors. And so there's several industries that we're starting to see that a lot more. And it's really awesome to see how thriving they are just because they're working together for one greater goal.
Right. And like you said, not everyone, I think it's in like all industry. You can't serve everyone.
Exactly.
Like Starbucks can't get everyone in town their coffee, so I think as an example, like it is good to have variety. Yeah.
Exactly. And everyone has even a different style or look. So it could be as
editing
simple as that.
Editing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as a single, person doing your own business, like it's just you, how do you hold yourself accountable, like to your business and the things that you know you need to get done, and not put up, like what are some things you do to hold yourself accountable?
I think that ebbs and flows sometimes, priorities shift. And I know that this summer when I'm traveling as much as I am for the senior sessions, especially, we go all over the state to do these. And it's you can only do so much work when you're driving in the car and you're the only one driving, right?
Yeah.
But deadlines, honestly, I have a turnaround time of 4 to 6 weeks. And so my clients, in the contract, it says 4 to 6 weeks is a turnaround. Sometimes I can get it back sooner than that. I do my best to stick around that in busy season. It sometimes is more on that 6 weeks end, but yeah. So I think the deadlines, having that and being upfront about that and communicating, if you are a little behind on something, communicating about that, But yeah, the deadlines definitely. I do have an assistant who works part-time with me.
Cool.
Yeah,
great.
She's super amazing. She's in Missoula going to school. And she's amazing. She'll do some of the back end stuff. So she will upload photos to my website, to the blog post, or take that blog post and connect it to. We have a system on the back end where it's I've created this and I'm all you got to do is punch this stuff into here and then post it on here. And so that is that's like really helpful too. But yeah, honestly, like when it comes to like client relationships, it's like deadlines sometimes for me. I feel like,
giving yourself deadlines.
Yeah, that's the way my mind works sometimes. And
I think that's very normal in business. Like, it's like if you have other things that pop up, like creation, or like you have just such a busy time, it's like these things can like wait, they'll get done by this date, but like I have to do the actual work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it can be hard sometimes too, like finding that balance between like, I don't know. I think being in a space like Rock 31 has helped me a lot, getting a lot of work done, because I'm able to like step out of like the work from home idea and be able to come here and like get stuff done.
Right. And then you can go home.
And then I can go home and relax.
And enjoy.
Exactly.
And do things with friends.
It's not a workspace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a tiny question, Maddie. Just fun thing. Tell us like about your favorite coffee order.
Favorite coffee order.
I was going to ask ice cream. So do ice cream and
ice
coffee.
cream
Ice cream
coffee.
and coffee. I love this.
Well, it depends on where I'm at.
Okay.
But, like right now, I'm definitely in like a dirty chai phase. So
me too.
That chai,
almost always.
Yeah, same. Always. Even if I'm at home, like we'll cold brew at home. And I'll get like the chai from Costco, you know, in like
the purple container.
Yes. Yep. So I'll do like chai and cold brew, which like talk about a buzz. Who needs a cold brew and mixed with chai? Like that's a lot of caffeine.
It is. I mean, your tea has the caffeine in it, and then you're adding
then coffee.
A little extra fun.
Yeah, exactly.
I was all jittery yesterday with my chai and my dirty chai. Yeah.
Yeah. So favorite coffee right now, definitely dirty chai.
Okay, so coffee. I love it.
Yep. Ice cream depends on where I'm at. So if we're in Billings, Big Dipper, caramel cookie waffle.
That one is really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Or if it's like a summer day and it's super hot and I feel like I need something refreshing, I'll do like a sorbet.
Ooh,
yeah. They have like lemon sorbet. It's really good.
It is really good.
But if I'm in like Bozeman or Whitefish, it's Sweet Peaks all the time.
Okay.
They have like homemade cinnamon waffle cones.
Oh.
And they have, when I lived in Bozeman, you guys, I would order like 2 pints of ice cream and eat it every week. Like
I love it.
Uber Eats would drop off ice cream to my house like on a regular basis from Sweet Peaks. And it's either like their salty caramel, huckleberry, or cupcake ice cream. So yeah, favorite ice cream and coffee.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
So we talked a lot about like Montana and things like, you know, Montana, personal branding, but you said you're a creative and adventurous photographer.
Yeah.
So where does that adventuring sometimes with your job and your business take you, and what, you know, like what speaks to you in those ways that you really love? And
yeah. So I think when it comes to like the adventure side of things, like around Montana with the seniors for sure, I love to, like, I want to get them out and show them like different places that maybe they hadn't seen before or whatever. And I feel that same way with like my entrepreneurs that I work with. So, I mean, I've kind of made some like really cool connections where I've traveled to Mexico. We've gone all over the place.
Did you go to Greece?
Yeah, I went to Greece. My friend got married, so I like helped shoot her wedding and I officiated her wedding.
Oh,
Jack
look
of
at
all
you.
trades right here. Let me tell you.
yeah. Everyone
So-
in the house.
Just
Yeah,
adding
what's
to her
up?
resume.
I am ordained, so if anyone needs to get married, I can make it
Okay.
legal. Thank you to my grandma for being in the wedding industry my whole life. Yeah, we did go to Greece, and like when we're there, we could do like fun photos. I think a big part of like marketing yourself and your brand as like an entrepreneur is like capturing you. That sounds so stupid and so silly and so mundane to say, but it's like wherever you're at. We were in Greece and did branding photos. Like
When you all promoted each other, which I
And
think
yeah,
is fun too to
exactly.
see as like an outsider of the industry, of like you all like promote each other, which is so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I've gotten into like photographing like retreats and workshops too, which I don't do a ton of because it is like long, like weeks, but I do love, like this last weekend I was up in Whitefish doing photo video for my friend Shay, who was hosting a content weekend. And so getting the behind the scenes of everyone there. So it's taken me from places to like, we've gone to Greece with my photographer friends. I've gone to Mexico a few times. I've gone all around the state, California,
Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think it's like the adventure comes in, and like, if you're an adventurer, like you're my person. If you want to go somewhere and have cool, like portrait-y photos, like you're my person, right? I don't want it to just be like constantly like in studio. Like a good headshot is necessary for everyone, but you can take those photos that you can use on anything, anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for all the adventures to come.
Those are so
Florida
fun.
this winter, so hopefully growing some biz over there for a little bit. But
And a fun, like, different atmosphere
Exactly.
than Montana, you
I
know?
mean, you can only do so much in the snow in the winter in Montana as a photographer. Like,
right.
Yeah.
But in Florida, where it's warmer and there's an ocean.
And
Yeah.
gators.
And gators. I'm excited for the gators. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Go to the happiest place on
Disney
Earth.
World.
Yeah.
Find
It
me
is
there.
fun.
I know.
Yeah.
Or Harry Potter World.
Yeah,
That one's
right?
cool too. Definitely
I
worth
know.
it.
I love that. I've done it in like California, Universal and Disneyland, but never in.
I've only done Disney World and Universal in Orlando.
Okay, I'm excited.
I've done Universal, Orlando, and Disney World and Disneyland.
Oh my
but
gosh, Kayla.
Harry
Kayla's
Potter
been all over
wasn't-
the place.
Harry Potter wasn't there at Universal Orlando at the time.
It was like new when I went. So
Oh
like
my
they've
gosh.
like built and expanded. But you know, we had the butterbeer. We
cool.
went to the wizard store. We did this one ride that we literally waited an hour in line.
Oh, I remember doing that at
However,
Universal in California.
I would do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like you're riding on a broomstick. Like I don't know how they
Oh,
do it at
I would
Disney
do
but
it.
and Universal, but I'm here for it.
I would wait in the lines.
I actually have a job with KOA in Orlando
So
this
fun.
winter. I know, I'm so excited.
Oh,
We're
that's
doing
exciting.
the headshots for everyone at their convention in Orlando. And I'm like, should I extend my time there and go to Disney World?
Probably.
Absolutely.
I've never been to Disney World, but I love
I would do it.
Disneyland.
You're there.
Yeah, exactly. So
You're there.
We should
Yeah.
also drop that KOA is an amazing company that is
Oh my
headquartered
gosh, yes.
here
In
in Billings.
Billings.
And the very first KOA ever is here in Billings.
so cool.
So, I mean, what?
And they're like the
that's
coolest
super
people
cool.
ever.
Oh, they're
I love
awesome.
working with KOA.
And they're building a new headquarter location.
Oh, yeah, they
west
are,
end of
yeah.
Billings.
Oh, I'm so excited
It
for
looks
them.
stunning from the road.
Seriously.
Oh,
It looks
I'm
amazing.
excited.
And it's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm excited to be able to get in there and see it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for them.
Yeah, I'm
So cool.
super jazzed. So it's
Yeah.
going to be really cool.
It is.
They're a really great asset to our community. So
Oh,
I love
absolutely.
to have them.
Yeah.
The other thing we should also mention is if you've ever looked up our headshots for Big Sky, Maddie actually took those photos.
She
and then
did.
all of our
Yay.
podcast photos are done by the marvelous
Maddie.
Maddie as well.
Ah.
To help us brand the podcast.
Yes.
The Vault at 201 North Broadway. So
Yes.
Maddie, with all of your adventuring and things that you're doing, how do people follow and get connected with you?
Yay. Okay. So Instagram is always great. You know, we love that.
We love the gram.
We love the gram.
And that's Maddie Nichole Photographer.
Especially
Nicole
as older
photo.
or like younger millennial. Kayla and I
Right.
are young millennials. We're
Yes.
on the spectrum,
Yeah,
I think, of like
Do I
millennial
get,
too.
am I like
Yeah.
a young millennial? I'm just kidding.
You might teeter on
No.
the other
I think
one.
I
You might,
teeter on the
yeah.
line.
Yeah, it depends on the day.
We'll claim you. Yeah, thank
We'll
you.
pull
I'm
you
like,
in
will
on
you
it.
claim
Claim
into
us
that?
is
Yes,
the thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We still like
Instagram-
skinny jeans.
Yeah, woo.
Once a day. So Instagram.
Instagram is
Okay.
a great one. I'm currently redoing my website, but it will be like up in the next 2 weeks. So that's
Okay.
amazing. Maddie Nichole Photographer.com.
Love it.
Nicole
I
has an
love
H in
that.
it. My mom thought she was being like super creative.
Okay.
So it looks like Nichole. Nichole.
Creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can also like find me at Rock 31 down here. I love being a part of the co-working space and in your
Yeah.
guys'
Yep. Maddie is a
In your
member
guys'
of our Rock
faces all the
31
time.
membership, so you can always
Yeah.
find her here
Yes.
before when you get back from Florida.
Well, I'm
When you're
going to
coming
go
to
to
visit.
Florida, but I'm coming home a ton. I don't ever want anyone to feel like I'm leaving and ditching and never going to be here again and I'm just gone for good because that's not the case.
We
We'll
know
have an
you're back.
emptiness in our
Yeah.
heart until
Stop
you return.
it. I have so much FOMO.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
So Maddie,
Yeah.
what is one thing coming up in your next year that is really exciting to you with your business? So website launching seems
Yeah.
huge.
Yep. Relaunching all of that. I feel like this is like a tangent, but like about that is I feel like it's finally like from the beginning, I always could have been myself, but for some reason there was just like this sense of like quote unquote who I thought I should have been. Right. And so it's like, was I fully showing up as myself? Sometimes yes, but I'm just really excited for this relaunch of my website because it is like, it's just me. Like I'm doing it. It's just me. The wording is me. I don't want you to go to my website and read what I'm saying on there and have it sound like someone that is not,
But it's not
the
your
girl
voice.
you meet when you show up at your photo shoot, right? Yeah. So that, relaunching my podcast. I've had a podcast for a while, so I'm super excited for that.
Yes, tell us the name.
20-something with Maddie. It's pretty much conversations as a 20-something about being in your 20s. Like
I love it. That's so
Yeah.
fun.
A little
We
bit of, like,
yeah.
all things like every aspect of life and business. I also want to talk about that because that's obviously a huge part of my life. But yeah, just
those are really exciting things.
I know. I'm super
Now,
excited.
You've had your podcast for for a while.
Yeah. I started it when I was like 22.
I love that. Do you have any tidbits, any tidbits for us as we're going through this process?
And for others that are thinking of
starting a
maybe
podcast.
starting their podcast.
One of the also things we should let people know is that the podcast room in Rock 31, that the vault actually where we host ours, is available for rent and for the members of Rock 31. So if you are starting a podcast, you do have that.
This is your place to do it. I think it can be intimidating, especially like the simple act of hearing your voice being recorded. So like, don't let that stop you. You have something to say and people need to hear it. So like, don't be scared to just go out and take messy action, right? Like not every episode has to be perfect at the beginning. Like even 100 episodes in, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like show up, have the conversations, be real, be you, be raw. Like don't be afraid.
Learn on the go.
Yeah. Learn as you go, learn on the go. Exactly. Yeah. It's not as hard as you feel like it's going to be. It stopped me forever from starting mine. I was like, I remember like going, exactly. I was in my counselor's office for the longest time being like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And she'd be like, okay, that's really cool. Very supportive. Right. And one day she was like, all right, girl, whenever you're ready, you'll do it. And I was like, oh, you're right. Ball is in my court. So like, just get started. It doesn't have to be perfect. Have fun.
Nike. It
can be like very simple. It's not that hard at all. And you don't have to invest in the nicest of nice equipment either. Like you don't have to spend $1 million on a mic and like
we have it.
Yeah, we have it here. I mean, we've got really
there's a
nice
place to do it here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
fun.
You've got the support. You've got the stuff.
So I guess we should tell people you'll do it when you're ready.
You'll do it when you're ready.
When you're ready.
Whenever you're ready.
That might be
you'll
exactly
take that
what
action.
they need to hear.
The ball's in your court.
No, exactly. It was
I love
kind of
it.
like an intense, like it took me back and I was like, ew, that's not what I wanted to hear. But it's
maybe
the
what you
truth.
needed.
It's exactly what I needed.
Yes.
Because literally the next time I was in there, within a month I had 4 episodes ready to go. So
There
I
you
love
go.
that.
That's what
Look
you
at
needed
you.
to hear.
So Maddie, thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh,
We've
thanks for
had
having me.
so much fun
A blast
talking with
for
you.
sure.
I just love you guys.
Do you have
we love you.
We do love you. Do you have any last tidbits or advice or something you'd like to share with our listeners?
Maybe advice, again, if you're thinking about starting something or doing something, like it sounds so cliche, but just take the messy action and get it done. Like do it. You're not in the wrong place. It's great timing. Just go for it.
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Do what Maddie would do.
Think about what
Go
would Maddie
for
do.
it.
Go for it. Take the adventure. Do the thing. Life is full of opportunities if you're just open to them.
And willing. You inspire
Connections.
me. I always think, I've started to think a lot lately. I'm like, what would Maddie do in this situation? I'm like, Maddie would book the tickets. Maddie would take
do
the
it.
trip. She'd
Yeah,
go
she'd
to the
just-
thing.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's like so fun because, you know, like life has so many cool things if you just are willing to
Yeah.
jump
And
in
life
and do
is
it.
like, it sounds morbid, but it's so short. Like it goes by so fast. So like take the opportunities and run with them. Go on the trip, have fun, see the world. Do it while you can.
I love it. We love it.
Yeah.
I
Go
love
do
that.
all the
Yeah.
things. And there's something to learn from everywhere and everyone. So
That's so
that's
true.
it. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We just
Oh, thank you,
like we
guys.
already said, we just have just a blast with you, and you always have really great information.
So
to
much
provide.
fun.
And you're just a huge supporter of business owners and entrepreneurs, and
Small
being an
businesses.
entrepreneur
Thank you,
yourself. And
guys.
so we just love having you around, and
Thank
look
you.
forward to doing more with you.
Heck yeah.
And our next episode might have to do something with food.
Ooh. Hopefully
So-
snacks are being brought.
I was going to say, I want to be
Kayla.
in on this one. No.
Well, I have to say samples are required for this one. So you might get to hear us eating some snacks or something good.
Exciting.
So
Oh,
definitely
wow.
make sure that you tune in for the next episode, and we look forward to chatting with you next time. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining. You can find the resources and tools mentioned in today's episode at thevault201.com. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe and share with a friend.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion,